All right, I think I'm live. Let's fire this thing up. For those who are part of the live stream, I've sent out the link, so it is on the way. I almost slept in, so but I made it 1 minute over, so that's not so bad. Hey, Dragos, how are you, man? Welcome to the live stream. Hopefully we get a few folks join in today. It's good to see that it still works. We've got Kevin. How are you, mate? We've got Ben as well. Ben Chan, how you going? Need some caffeine. I'm not sponsored by Red Bull, but it was a late night. I went playing last night with Brian, so I'm feeling the pain this morning. We've got George. How are you, man? Time to pretend to do some work while watching this. The good thing about this live stream is you can essentially just listen to it as well. So if you have to minimize the screen, you're not going to be missing too much, which is good. But I know that feeling well from my old job, mate. So yeah. Got Simon B. Wayne Whiteside, how are you, Wayne? Mr. Chops is in the house. The new Mustang sounds cool on YouTube with the Fender tones. So I got the Super Champ X2 so far. I love it. Awesome. Yeah, those amps are great. I really like them. Mr. BHBJR, how are you? They probably say that in a much easier way than what I just did, but I haven't worked that out yet. So yeah, in terms of the new Fender Mustangs, they actually look pretty cool. There's a few things I should point out. That podcast video was shot a few days ago, right before Fender had that actual release of their video on their own website, but or on their Facebook page or whatever. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. So the things that I missed, I sent essentially were, which I didn't mention in the podcast, but I knew about as well, was the mobile phone or iPad connectivity. So that's kind of interesting. A few people asked me whether or not you could still connect it to the computer. It does have a USB port on there, so I'm assuming you can. If you can still share and do all that stuff with the patches, you should still have access to connect it directly to the computer. I think the phone itself or the iPad is literally just to help configure it on the fly, which, you know, if you're used to using the old amps or the old, last generation's ones, I'm not sure you really need that, but it's a cool gimmick. I guess all the amp companies are doing it. I had a lot of people tag me on that Fender post saying that they want me to do a demo. So hopefully Fender take note. If they don't, it's all good. And thanks for those who did tag on that on Fender's Facebook video post as well. Dragos asked, will you be able to import the V2 patches into the new one? Look, the way this usually works, and this is going from like the previous generation to the V2s to the so the previous generation to the V2s, whatever they were called, just V1s maybe or something. Basically, you could move the patches back and forward, but if certain amp presets or cab presets were missing, it would use the closest one. So they wouldn't always sound identical. I have a feeling that's going to be the case. There's going to be a whole lot of crossover. Like most of the Fender amps, for example, are still in the new amp that they've used in the old amp. All of those should still be compatible. And if you're using effects that were in both, you should be fine. That's the way I understand it to work so far. Could be wrong, but that's usually how they work. So Ben says, 9 to 5 grind, loving the Guitar Search Saturdays too. By the way, have you thought about bringing back the gas documentaries with some friends that you mentioned sometimes showing their favorite gear? Yeah, look, that's kind of stuff I'd like to do more of this year as well. I want to do another documentary at some point, and this one will be more of a documentary than like a massive rig rundown. So I'm going to try and do one on like street performance, like busking, we call it in Australia. So yeah, people that perform in the city and that's what they do. you know, I've done a bit of that in the past too. It's good fun. Nick says, hey guys, taking a break from packing for a vacation to pop by for a few minutes. You lucky bugger. Have fun, man. You're going down to Florida, I think. So enjoy the sun. I got my heater on in the background. We got crap weather. So I'm very jealous. Hey, we've got Lando here as well. How are you, mate? I'm going to pop this chat out so I don't just see 3 or 4 comments. Here we go. This is better. Yeah, so for those who... no, actually, I'll just double check the comments here. Oh, we've got Larry from West Virginia. How are you, man? I've just received my VFE Dragon. It's a great pedal. It's transparent. What's your point on ODs? VFE Dragon. I don't know if I've actually... Oh, okay. So that's the same as the Vomit Hound. That's actually a pretty cool pedal because you can blend overdrive and distortion together. I think I've still got... I don't know if I've got mine or I sold it in the end. I can't remember, but I'll show you the artwork on the Vomit Hound. It's pretty wild. This is one of the funniest pedals out there. Let's show you this. I'm just bringing up Google Images here. So that's the Dragon Hound, which is the one that you've got, which has the flaming dog, and that's the Vomit Hound. You can see my demo videos under it here. But yeah, it's pretty funny. The artwork's crazy. But you can essentially mix between the A and P drive, which is like 2 separate types of overdrive. And then you also have a filter control where you can sort of sweep between both of them a second time. I kind of almost feel like that control's redundant because you've already got the ability to mix between both drives on the top here. So I'm not really sure what function that serves other than just another secondary option. You might like to mess with it a bit, but yeah, it's a pretty wild pedal. I haven't heard much from VFE pedals. I think since Peter went back to doing his teaching, he might not be pushing his pedals much anymore. But, you know, that's the way it goes. All right, so we've got they're going to Disney as well, man. Cool. Go to Universal Studios down there too if you can, and Waterworld or whatever the other one's called. They're both really good fun. Got Larry. How are you, man? Jonathas, is that how you pronounce that? From Brazil. How are you, man? I'm so bad at pronouncing names. I hate to get them wrong. I have a feeling maybe something's gone wrong with me sending out the links for the live stream. So I'm just going to check my email here and see if that email actually sent or not, or it's stuck in my drafts. It's always the way. Because usually we have a few folks on, and that was the point of this one. But if not, I'll just hang out for a while. Okay, you know, it did send, so maybe people have they've just got stuff on. So we'll see how we go. So coming up, also, I should point out, I've just got confirmation from 4 YouTubers. We're going to do a massive Hangout / Q&A session for about an hour, maybe later this month, which will be pretty cool. So yeah, we've got a couple of pretty guys that are similar to myself, I guess, in some ways, both with their YouTube channel. They're not like, they don't have corporate backing or whatever. So yeah, just 4 YouTubers, and yeah, we'll see how we go. It'll be the first time. Actually, I've emailed and spoke to a few of them before, but never like in a Hangout. So it should be good. I'll have more info on that coming up. I'll put a video up about that prior to the actual live stream itself. All right, so Colin from Melbourne's eastern suburbs. How are you, man? Dragos says, is the tumness worth getting? I'm a fan of the Dumble sound. Does it get anywhere close to that? No. It's a great pedal, but it's a clone, essentially a clone. If you want the Dumble sound, you've realistically got to get the Zentastic. I'll type it in. So the best ones are the Zentastic by POB pedals, and then you also want to get the they changed names, but it was called the Zen Drive. Just look up the Zen Drive. I think it's called Hermida Audio now, but they used to be called something. No, they used to be called Hermida Audio. Anyway, whatever. Just type in Zen Drive, Overdrive. They're the two that you want if you want the Dumble sound. The Klon sound is nothing like it. I just got a new, this is from Larry. He said, just got a new 2017 Epiphone Prophecy. Wonderful guitar. Have you played one? No, I haven't played one, but Fender Champion 40. I think I've demoed a Fender Champion 40. They're decent amps for, you know, small practice amps, whatever. Like the Guitar Search Saturdays, is there a practice amp that has drum/bass tracks built in? I know Fender have released stuff like that. I think they're called like G-Deck. I'll type that in as well. I think it's something like that. Your best bet would be just to download a whole lot of backing tracks from wherever, like YouTube or whatever. You can, there's plugins you can download stuff, and then put them on an MP3 player and use an auxiliary send on an amp, because that way you're not limited just to the specific types of sounds or music from your amp. So just get a whole lot of backing tracks or queue up a playlist and play it on a computer and jam along. Do Aussies really eat that much Vegemite? I do. I love it. I try not to buy it too much anymore because it's expensive, and B, it only lasts like not long. I really love that stuff. It's gross to most people, but I like it. Love Pedal now makes the Zen Drive. There we go. Cool. Yeah, I always get the brands confused. So Hermida Audio was the original company. They must have sold it to someone or whatever. Euphoria is the Wampler Dumble pedal, but it's really just a tube screamer with a bass control and clipping switch. Well, that said, so is essentially, you know, there's not a whole lot of difference between a tube screamer and like a Dumble style pedal. To be honest, it's probably just a little bit different in the EQ section, and maybe not a lot. So yeah, they are pretty similar, but the two that I mentioned are the best for that particular type of sound that I've used. I've got the Zentastic. I think it's great, and the benefit of that one is it also has a boost, so you can set up your one sound and then have a lead tone just by clicking a button. So it's great. So I'm a bit husky today, guys. I played music late last night, and I'm kind of fried. I'm pretty tired. I picked up a Zen Drive a few months ago. Awesome. Cool. There's also a backing track app called Loops. It works pretty well. Good stuff. I haven't heard of that actually. So Fusto Sierra says, what do I think of the Seymour Duncan 59 humbucker for playing blues? Look, I'm sure they'll be fine for doing that sort of stuff. I haven't had a chance to use them personally, but you know, 59 style humbuckers are great. I don't think you'll have any problems with something like that. Opinion on vintage Japanese Squires. Look, I've only actually had a chance to see one, or no, two now in person. They're fantastic. I reckon Japanese guitars are the hidden gem of the guitar market. And I've said that a few times where, A, you'll get a good deal, you get a good guitar, it'll have quality parts, and odds are you won't need to change a whole lot of stuff. Even the old Squires, a mate of mine had a Japanese Squire for years, and I can't believe he sold it. It was just an awesome guitar. Kevin says, I think Dumbles are rare, so it makes them appealing. Yeah, they also, well, let's put it this way: the players that use Dumbles or are lucky enough to have Dumble amps make them sound great. So that's part of the whole lure of them. They're just a really big, clean, full, fat sounding amp platform, but they're all tweaked to the artist to some extent as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So Jonathan says, my Gretchen, my OCD arrived tomorrow. Hey, nice, man. Yeah, cool. That's a great combo. Have I ever used your Blues Deluxe as a cab? I'm about to with my Bugera 5-watt. Hey, you know what? That'd be great. That'd be an absolutely cool thing to do. I haven't used it with this particular amp. I've messed with using different amp heads into different cabs before. Never on video, just something that I've done at home. And you know what? You'll get a huge sound. Yesterday, I actually took that Joyo thing over to my friend Brian's place, and we put it into a speaker cab with a cream back, and it was awesome. I think like having a quality speaker cabinet with a smaller powered amp, for an example, is pretty wild. It's good fun. So you can get some pretty great sounds by swapping the cabs over when you do that sort of stuff, especially for lower watt amps. All right. So the Champion 40 will take the chassis from the Super Champ X2. That way you'll get the cabinet to put a 12. Okay, so he's saying you can put the head into the Champion box. That's cool. If you need to upsize the speaker, that's a really great way of doing it. So Zephan321 says he has the 59 pickups and they sound great. That's cool. Awesome. There we go. So Dragos says, please like the video, guys, to help out Shane. Yeah, if you can, that would be awesome. I'm not too sure what's going on today. We were supposed to have a bit of a hangout session, but it looks like I'm on my own for a while. I did only get the link out minutes before it started, so maybe the heads up wasn't too good. But I'm trying it on a different day, which also might be the problem. But anyway, so we'll put up with me for a little while here today. On that 50th anniversary Strat, you swapped out your pickups a lot. Did you consider trying Briley pickups? Not really, no. Like at the time, I wanted either Strat pickups or Zex coils. That was it. And I changed pickups so many times on that guitar. I tried probably 4 or 5 different types of pickups in there, and I didn't like any of them in that guitar. The Zex coils were the only ones that actually made that guitar sound half decent. I have a feeling, though, that part of that guitar, there's something about it that was just a little too mellow. So either the bridge or the hardware or something was kind of killing the tone a little bit. Yeah, it's funny. Like my white one just has a whole lot more life as it is. So that said, to get back to your question, like Briley pickups are fantastic. I've got Briley pickups in my Little Crow. I got asked, a good mate of mine asked me what pickups I recommend, and I said Briley pickups, and he put some in his, and they sound great. So you can't really go too far wrong with his pickups. I love them. Amani says he hears that Squier guitars from Japan in the 80s and 90s are better than made in Mexican Fenders. They're really good. They are. They're fantastic guitars. If you get a chance to check out any old stuff like that from Japan, definitely do it. You can usually get that kind of stuff for a bit of a bargain too. All right. I have a Taiwanese Squier from the early 90s with made in Mexican pickups, and it works great. I'm sure it'd sound fine. North of 50 now says Robin Ford uses the Seymour Eclair humbuckers from their custom shop. Oh, I didn't know that. Cool. Robin Ford, man, he's the chops wizard. Are the 40? Here we go. Are the Fender Champion 40-watt amps any good? Well, it's all subjective, man. I mean, like, if you were to buy one of those, you'd probably use it as a home amp more than you would use it as a gigging amp. I just don't think they're loud enough for playing gigs. They're not super quiet either, but in my opinion, just from what I know about playing live, I wouldn't buy one to take out to play live. The 40 watt solid state amp just isn't really loud enough. But good is subjective. Like I said, I like things that people might not consider good. So it's all subjective. I always say to people, go play stuff and make up your own mind and compare it to something else if you can. Get a, apples to apples comparison with something else. What do I think about the Fender Strats with the rosewood fretboards? I'm thinking of buying one. Well, I got one. I think they're fine. Look, if you're wondering if they're going to sound any different to the maple, they're not. Realistically, they're going to sound exactly the same. A lot of the tone stuff in Strats just comes down to the bridge, the nut, the frets, all that kind of stuff, and the pickups are the biggest thing, obviously. So don't get too concerned with if the rosewood guitars are going to sound different to the maple. If they do sound different when you pick them up, something else is at play on the most part. It could just be fresher strings or a few other things. So if you get two Mexican Strats that are essentially identical minus the wood on the fretboard, the tone difference will be maybe pickup height or strings or maybe different pots or something. So I like the look of them. I think actually there's two types of Strats I like the most. And this is just me being like, I'll show you the ones I like the best here. I'll bring this up on a thing here. Let me share this with you guys. This is just the Squire, but here we go. I'll open. Actually, we'll go to images. I'm a big fan of the two-tone sunburst. Oh, geez, could I find a smaller image? Here we go. I reckon that looks great, like with the maple fretboard. I mean, there's other ones that look great as well. There's, you can't really go wrong with a million different Strats, but that's kind of like the iconic, classic, old school, early 50s style Strat maple fretboard. And then there's also this one. This is the one I've got. I'm just using this as an example. I think the rosewood neck looks pretty cool on that. The rosewood fretboard looks pretty good on a white Strat. But I mean, people said, very Hendrix, and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even realize he sort of played that. But red Strats look great as well. I like lots of different ones, but in terms of tone, mate, you're not going to really see that between the necks. It's not really going to make much of a difference. Ben Chan's talking about Vegemite. Yeah, it tastes good. It tastes like I took some over to my American friends a while back, and they said it tastes like stock cubes you put in like chicken for cooking chicken and soup and all that kind of stuff. I was like, yeah, maybe it does. Boyang cubes, is that what they're called? All right, so Joe has a question here for everybody, including everybody in the chat. He says, hi, Shane and watchers. Is there a rule of thumb to work out what speaker or speaker size to an amp? I know the ohms, but say 100 watt head. So if you get a 100 watt head, what I would do normally is get at least 12-inch speakers, and I would go for a speaker that's much higher in watts than 100. So put something in there that's rated at 120 to 150. That way you'll never blow the speaker. That would be my suggestion. Or alternatively, depending how you run the speakers, you can run two. Or you can, if you want a 2x12 thing, I'd still put 100 watt speakers in there minimum. So two 100 watt speakers or two 150 watt speakers. I reckon you'll get more high headroom in the cleans anyway of doing that. Dom Fran says, hi Shane, joined in to feel some lefty pain. Other people talking about righty guitars we can only play upside down. Yeah, that's always the way. It's always the way. But And that's the thing. You go into shops, and even when you're a half competent player, and the idiots in there will still try to sell you a right-handed guitar. Oh, just play it upside down. I'm like, dude, or just play right-handed. Like, how about you write with your opposite hand? See how well that works out for you. All right, so Roldolph says, Shane, I've got a Blues Crab and a TS9. My amp is a Mustang 3 V2. What can you say about those pedals in chain to get a clean crunch blues tone? You probably only need one. If you for whatever reason you're not using the Tube Screamer preset in the amp, whatever that reason is, you'll only really need one extra pedal then, because I've done blind shootouts between the TS9 and the amp model patch, and they sound exactly the same. I can't hear any difference. So I'd probably set my amp to clean, use the Mustang preset for the TS9 or Tube Screamer setting, and then if you need an extra boost, maybe try your Blues Crab with more of a volume boost than, you know, a dirt boost. That's how I'd run it. Todd's Kuras asks which to buy, amp heads or combos. You got to ask. There's a few things that go into that. If you say, it depends. Like, combos are great because they're convenient, but they can also get extremely heavy. The benefit of having a head and box is, while you do have to carry two things as opposed to one, it's actually easier. You might have to do a second trip to the car, but the benefit you'll have, and what my friend Brian's just done, he bought a Supersonic 60 head. He's lucky he got the last new one I've ever seen anywhere. And now he can run that with a 212 or a single 12. And, you know, he can just put the head in the car. Like, my old Supersonic 60 was that heavy. That's part of the reason I ended up selling it, unfortunately, was the fact that it was so hard to get into my car. Back then, I wasn't very strong. My back was pretty wrecked, and getting that amp around was a huge pain. Having the flexibility to choose which cabinet you want to use, which speakers you want to use, all that kind of stuff will give you more flexibility tone-wise. And there's something to be said for a head and box. I think they sound cleaner. You have less rattle as well. You're basically not having all the electronics right next to the speaker will inherently give you less rattle and cabinet rattle and tube rattle, all that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind. I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't think about, is more the portability side of that, as well as being able to go, you know what, I've got a speaker box I love. I don't need to buy a whole different amplifier. I can just go get another head. That's a really cool thing as well. And so you can get a Fender head, you get a Vox head or Marshall, whatever, put on the same speaker box. So keep that in mind. I think, you know, if I make the move to a head at some point, that's what I'll end up doing. I'll have a speaker box with a single Swamp Thing speaker. I'll have another speaker box with a Texas Heat and a Swamp Thing in there, and I'll just swap heads. I think that'll be awesome. All right, we got Mario from Brazil. How you doing, man? Hello, Brazil. We got D. Snay from North Carolina. Have I ever tried the Carvin Legacy amp? I've tried a couple of Carvin amps over the years, but Vi's first signature amp, I don't think so. I'll check it out. I'll have a look. Let me see what it looks like. The only Carvin amps I've tried have been a couple of Tweed combos. I highly doubt that'll be what that is. I can't even see it on Google Images. I'm not too sure, man. Sorry, there's nothing that came up in Google Images looking for that Carvin Legacy amp. Hey, we got someone in the live stream.
Hey.
Oh. Isaac, how are you, man?
All right, yourself?
Yeah, good, thanks. Thanks for dropping in. I don't think we've spoken before. I could be wrong.
No, we have not. No.
Cool.
I've spoken in the chat quite a lot.
Yeah. I meant in on the stream. Cool. I think
you've burned me a couple times too.
Have I? For what? I don't remember doing it.
No, in a good way, in a fun way. That's good.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. I only ban people if there's arguments or flaming.
You never banned me. Burned me.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Sorry, man. Where are you from?
Oh, just Queensland. Just
cool. Beautiful. So we've got a fellow Aussie in here, which is good. Yeah. So what sort of stuff you play, man? What are you into?
A lot of the stuff you play, basically, and a bit of bit of more rock, but
cool.
Yeah, pretty similar.
Oh, good stuff. You play what sort of guitars you got? What are you into?
Well, they're right here actually. I have this. This is a Squire that I had modified with Damasio PAFs.
Yep. Yeah, nice, man. You got the middle pickup out, is that right? Or
yeah. I couldn't find.
Yeah, cool.
It was on the cheapest one, had a route in there, so I just got that one.
Yeah, fair enough. You can store your picks in there too.
The Epiphone Sheraton too.
Oh,
Pro.
Nice, man. These are so good, these things.
This is my favorite guitar in the world. I wouldn't trade it for a Gibson.
No, I don't blame you, man.
Or I'd trade it for a Gibson and buy more of these.
Yeah. No, there's something to be said about those Sheratons. I think they're just awesome guitars. Cool.
The neck I've never felt a neck like it. It's a unique feeling neck. So
yeah. And they've got the binding not the binding, they got the two sort of strips down the neck, I think, too, on a lot of them. I don't know.
Yeah, it's two walnut strips, yeah.
Yeah, cool. No, they look great. They're a really nice guitar.
Oh yeah, they're pretty good. I thinking about putting some Seymour Duncan Pearly Gates in it. Just
yeah.
I might leave it alone.
Yeah, you really need to do that if you don't like the sound of it now. Like, otherwise, you'd just be getting something different that'll be just as good.
That's all. Something different.
Yeah, cool. Just don't do them. Don't do that yourself, man. Working on those arch tops.
No. Yeah, the arch tops. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Good stuff. So I just got a question from I think it's Buttercan from the chat. He says, when is the Aqualung review? It's coming up tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. I got this new pedal. It's pretty wild, called it's from Turkey, my first Turkey guitar. Pedal, sorry. And yeah, it is absolutely wild. It looks pretty cool. I'll bring up a pic. I'll show folks what it looks like here. All right. Bear with me one sec. See if this works. Yeah, so that's coming up. Actually, I got it right next to me. I'm an idiot. Let's try it this way. It's right here. So yeah, I got this coming up tomorrow. Definitely check out this demo. I'm not often blown away by transparent overdrives, but this one actually sounds pretty wild. So and it looks cool. I like the old scuba diver thing. But yeah, seems to be all the folks in Europe are making some good effects pedals lately. They're sort of, most of the stuff on my board's from Greece and the US, but most of the stuff from Europe I've had a chance to play has been pretty good. Yeah, so we've got North of 50 now says, Shane, have you ever played a Maton guitar? Yep, I owned one for about 10 years. Played a mini Maton recently as well. What about yourself? Have you had a chance to play any acoustics, any Maton acoustics, Isaac?
I have played them. I have definitely not owned them. I've played them in music stores and gawked at them.
Yeah, cool.
I really like those Gretsch acoustics more.
Yeah, I actually played one of those before. They're all right. They feel all right. Cool. Yeah, nice. Yeah, the Matons are a mixed bag for me. I've played some that I really like, and I've played some that I don't. It tends.
I played a Maton 12 string I didn't really like.
Yeah, I find they're always best plugged into a PA system. Matons, they're very their pickup system's fantastic, but acoustically sometimes they don't sound that great. And then you'll hear a handful of them every now and then that'll be amazing. But the one I had sounded pretty dull on its own, like just jam it at home. But when you plugged it in, it was magic. Like, it was really good. So we've got Ahmad Kareem here. How are you, man? We've got Grant Hamilton from Vancouver Island. Canifa, he says. I think that's yeah, he corrected himself. Canada. Clive 54. How you doing? All right. So North of 50 now says the Aqualung, does it sound like a flute? That's what it is, man. It's a flute emulator. It's awesome. No. All right. So what picks do I use? I still use chicken picks, and if I can't find them, I'll use my old Jim Dunlop 1mm. Do you have any preference for picks, Isaac?
I only own one kind of pick, and that's the Jim Dunlop 3mm pick.
Oh, you play 3mm? Far out. Cool.
Yeah, just these. I have boxes and just these stubbies.
Yeah.
The little stubbies.
Yeah, cool. Most people that own those can play extremely fast, so I'm assuming you probably can rip.
No, I'm not a fast player. I don't like my pick to have any give.
Yeah. And I was always the opposite. I used to like the feeling of having them sort of bend a little bit. But
just strumming chords, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but after that, now it's just like I much prefer, like, the chicken picks don't bend at all. And it's the same. They're basically the same type of thing. Different material, but same, no flexibility at all, which is cool. So, yeah, awesome stuff. We've got Daktar from Maryland, USA. All right, Shane, if you were very, very wealthy, would you buy a Dumble? Can that amp be valuable? I mean, you'll be spending a ridiculous amount of money to buy one. So if you were to sell it, you'd probably get the same amount of money back, or more maybe. But would I buy one? Probably not. I just couldn't justify that. For me, that type of amp would just be a waste. The places I play at, I couldn't justify that. I was playing at arenas maybe, but that's not the case. I'd rather take that $20,000-$30,000 and travel the world 3 or 4 times. So yeah, if you're playing in arenas or something, think about it. But yeah, that's crazy. All right, what's this question? Eternal question of the options: attenuators, tube converters, peace disturbance charges. What the hell? Oh, Ryan, you've got some headphones, mate. Let's bring up the sound effects applause.
That's right. Just keep that damn alarm out of here, and we'll be okay.
Yeah. How are you, man?
Oh, just fine. Yeah, I picked up some headphones after that last debacle. So
yeah, good stuff, man. Thanks for that.
Once you offered to send me some from Australia, I thought, well, maybe I should probably venture out and get a pair.
Let me just put it this way, mate. There's things you can buy outside of the guitar world that will.
Yeah, that's right.
It'll be helpful.
That's right. Yeah.
You got another guitar on the wall there, or is that the same?
No, this is the same bunch here. Same bunch. It's the 335, the Strat, the Martin acoustic, the Telly, and the Custom 24 there. Same batch we had a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, cool. Hey, on your headphones, not to be too picky, does your microphone have a gain control?
I'm sure it does. Yes. Does it need to be louder?
Yeah. No, just back it off.
Oh.
Because it's loud, and then I think Google is limiting it. Just if you can back it off just a hair, I think it'll balance itself out, and then you should be good. But otherwise, it's night and day, mate. You've changed my live experience here.
All right.
Perfect.
Am I any better?
Yeah, that sounds heaps better, man. Good
All right,
stuff.
great.
Thanks, heaps. Cool. Hey, Lando, how are you, man?
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing? You can actually come up a bit if you want.
Okay, 1 second.
Can't do anything to make him happy, Lando.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. I think that's better.
So this is where I thought this was all. Was it supposed to be canceled? The Hangouts with multiple people, or it's still working? I guess.
Well, I mean, like I said, everyone that joined saw that message that said this is going to be discontinued, right? I mean, I wasn't the only one seeing that, and basically what they've done, what they've discontinued is the Google.
Yeah.
It's discontinued from the Google Plus side of things. So you used to be able to start a live stream from YouTube and Google Plus, but now they've gotten rid of that and just made it part of the live Hangout. So why didn't they just write that? It's still going to work on YouTube, but not on Google Plus. That would have not. We are discontinuing this service after May 24th. I mean, I saw that for about 4 months. Yeah, I have no idea why they did that. Why the message was that stupid? Like, they could have just. Everyone had questions like, "Why are you discontinuing this thing?" And after I looked into it, I went, "Oh, okay. So they're actually only just cutting one part of that service but keeping it rolling." But from what everyone read, it was saying that they were getting rid of it completely. So
that's what I thought.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense. So anyway, what's new with you, Lando?
Just nothing. I got a bunch of guitars in here from somebody that I'm borrowing, so I'm gonna do some demos with those. I got
good stuff.
Yeah.
Look like you're doing a Telecaster album there with all the different types of tellies you got.
Yeah, I got a bunch. I got actually I'm gonna do a video with I've got a cheap Squire butterscotch telly and then a telly deluxe, so like both ends of the price spectrum, just to see how they compare. So it'd be cool. They look the same.
I just got a message saying I need to raise the volume up on a few of you guys, so I'll do that now.
Okay.
Yeah, Landon's is still a little bit quiet.
How's
That's
that?
All right. Yeah, that might be better. Look, for me, from what I hear, I can hear you guys fine, but sometimes it's cannot hear the guests. That's really weird.
At all?
I don't know. I can hear him. I can hear you guys fine, so I'm assuming it's working. I can even hear it.
Not. All the guests are low volume, but somebody else says cannot hear them. So which is it?
I don't know. Look, I can hear you. I can hear you guys fine, so I'm assuming it's working all right. At least, am I way louder than everybody else in your headphones? Or I can turn down if I need to. But anyway, it should be cool. It should be cool. But all right.
Okay.
I just got asked, how can we join? So just send an email through to my email address. I'll type in my email address in the comments here. If you send an email, I'll put you on the list, and that is it. And usually about 15 to 30 minutes normally, I'd like to send out the email ahead of time. I didn't do that today, but then that's it. Get on the list that way.
Shane, what's going on with the new Mustangs? How long has it been since you recorded that video? Have you got to play one yet? I have not.
I haven't. I don't think they're in Australia yet. Maybe today I'm going to go down to my local store here and see how far off they are. I haven't seen them anywhere here yet. I went to probably my city's biggest music store the other day, and they didn't have any. So, I haven't had a chance to use them yet. That video, that the podcast was recorded like 4 days ago, I think. Okay. three or 4 days ago. So I haven't had a chance to use them. Well, I wasn't maybe 100% up to date when that video actually went live with what I know about them now. But I'm looking forward to giving them a try, see what they're like, and It
seems to me like the biggest change, and I had a couple of the V. Actually, I had the V1 and the V2. But it seems like the biggest change is that I guess you can hook it to your wireless network and then use an app on your phone to actually change the patches. And if that's really all they've changed, then I would be disappointed.
Yeah, that seems like the biggest. There's a couple of other changes too, but I think the biggest one is that you're right. And how funny is it that we need an amp to connect to Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I couldn't figure that one out.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Maybe it helps you Google.
Yeah. Alexa, turn on my amp.
There's something up with
Mustang. Search
Ryan.
for prawn.
Ryan, I don't know if you guys are hearing Ryan's audio or not, but it's like really loud and then it drops down. Do you guys hear that? All right.
Yeah, it was loud and then dropped down.
So we'll work it out, man. You got just a small. It's like the gain's still maybe too hot or something, or maybe move your mic back a hair from your mouth. See if that helps. But
yep. Let me see what's going on here.
Because when you speak quietly, it's fine, and then I think when you get animated, it kind of goes funny. Terry, how are you, man? Welcome to stream.
Hello, I didn't realize you were back on again.
No, well, I didn't think. We were just talking about that before. The stream message everybody was receiving saying they were terminating the service after April 24 ended up just being part of the service, which was the Google part of the Hangout thing. So
yeah,
it works on YouTube, doesn't work through Google Plus, which is good because I don't think anyone likes Google
Yeah,
Plus.
I was reading something there again saying about how they were supposed to change it a little bit or offer something else. But it sounded like it was more geared towards business, and it was just kind of like, you know, it really doesn't help anyone that wants to do the live Hangouts on air.
Yeah, I'm glad they kept this going. I mean, it didn't make sense for them to kill it, and then everyone has to work out a way through Skype. I mean, I'd already started working out options and alternatives, and I just thought, man, this is going to be a huge pain. Like, realistically, I could probably host 3 or 4 people at any one time, but the more people you get in, more bandwidth I use, and the worse it all gets. So I'm not 100% certain it was going to work, but
yeah.
Anyway.
The other big thing that's going on right now too is if you've actually checked your ad revenue for this past month, it might not be showing any ad revenue.
Oh, okay.
Like mine does right at the moment. And I was doing a little bit of sleuthing more there again, and I found some answers over Google. And apparently there was an ad bot attack in the last 2 months that apparently had shoved a lot of ad revenue up. So in turn, I guess Google turned around and they're trying to sort out which are bot enhanced hits and then try to give proper earnings or remove earnings. So I was just like, well, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's not good. I mean, that's always been an ongoing problem with YouTube. And a lot of times you'll see, if you ever watch Social Blade statistics, you'll see a lot of people just drop off channels all of a sudden. Like, there'll be hundreds of people that just seem to unsubscribe. A lot of those are actually bot accounts. So that's been a problem for years. And maybe there was some sort of new bot strategy that they weren't aware of. But I've actually been all right. I haven't noticed anything too much. When the ad boycott thing started, that hit me pretty hard. But otherwise, it seems to be pretty much back to normal to some extent now. Like, for me, I haven't noticed that. But that sucks, man. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, so they said they haven't given any times table when those back amounts might be added, but they're supposedly sorting through that crap.
Yeah, they're going through a whole lot of changes at the moment, YouTube, and I think some of it I kind of can understand. Like, I can understand companies might not want their ads on questionable content, but there's also companies that require their ads on questionable content to reach certain audiences, and that's what they haven't thought about. They just want everything to be PC and advertiser friendly. There's a lot of great channels out there that might toe the line that get millions of hits that would be a great platform to advertise on. So it's a bit of a shame, but anyway.
Yeah, Glenn Fricker already said he's already been hit pretty massively by the new the new algorithms and that.
Yeah, I think like I love that guy's channel, but you can kind of see why. I mean, he's dropping the C-bomb every second.
When he said that, it was. Let me say, I think the F count was 8.
Yeah.
Towards Google for doing it and that, and I'm like, well.
I just got asked, who is the heavy breather?
Oh, it must be. The microphone, I'm just going to mute it whenever I'm not talking.
Don't worry, mate.
I think I've got the.
We'll get it sorted. Your audio
I think I have
times
it.
better.
I think I have it where it'll keep the same level now. So, here comes the mod.
Yeah.
Look out!
Hello.
Hey, how are you, man?
Good. Got this dog in my face, as you can see.
So that's the heavy breather. Yeah.
Darth Vader.
Cool. What's news, man? What's happening? You're
Oh,
outside.
nothing much. Yeah, just hanging out, enjoying the weather.
You're lucky.
Nice out.
Avoiding more controversial airport-related stuff.
Yeah, we're not dragging any people off the planes anymore. We're
Oh,
trying
God.
to do that.
I just seen the repost about the family getting told to get off the airplane because they wouldn't give up the seat that was bought for their 2-year-old baby.
Yeah, that was rough.
I was just like, what the hell?
It was just like, okay, as long as it's not United, I don't need any more bad press. Yeah, because it's like,
Somebody should
what am I
stir it
supposed to say?
Somebody should start up an American airline company and actually make it like, we're the good air company. It'd probably make a ton of business, right?
It's we beat the competitors, not the passengers.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I read that, so I can't claim that one.
Hey Shane, they did in the chat. They did just bring up credit goes to Mr. Whoa Boom Shakalaka. Brought up the fact that the new Mustangs, when you change patches, if you have effects going in a previous patch and then you change like a delay, it will continue to roll as you change patches. It won't just immediately cut off like the V2.
Yeah, that's the. I think I might have mentioned that on the podcast video I just posted. I can't really remember, but yeah. So
yes, you were. I was just going to mention that.
That's actually really cool
Said that.
because there's nothing worse than changing patches and you lose your. Well, I guess it creates more continuity between what you were doing and where you're going, rather than just a switch turns your tone completely different. So yeah, that's an interesting thing.
I can say in regards with the VIP here, the VIP 2, if I patch, it does actually cut off everything that was in that bank. But again, your signal, whatever you're playing, does actually start into your other patch that starts up after it. So even though you do hear a pause and a click or whatever, it's still continuing even into the next patch if you have that much.
Oh wow!
sound
Okay.
going on.
So Fender copied Peavey basically.
Well, it is pretty stiff competition. Everyone's trying to do modeling.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll tell you, Peavey really screwed themselves whenever they didn't have the Viper Pro. They put out the Viper, which is like the big fancy version of the VIP stuff. It's what's it? The Viper Pro 100 is what it was called.
Viper
It was
Pro
like
100. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the 100-watt 112, which would basically have directly competed with the Mustang 112 and all that sort of stuff. They had some really great technology in there, really great foot pedal. The whole thing was awesome. And then you couldn't find them anywhere at any dealers. You couldn't get them. You go online to order them, and they're not available. I don't know what the deal was with that, but Peavey really, they had a really good product there. I've still yet to see one in a store.
Yeah, the problem was there was a issue in the effects loop, and they had put it that close to market that they were just going to drop it, and then somebody was testing it, and they decided to actually put effects into the loop, and there was some type of grounding issue or something with certain effects. So they had to totally stop production, stop everything, and try to fix that before they could release it. So that was the one big problem. Again, the other big issue with the Pro was, again, the late hype it up, and they hyped it up at, what was it, NAMM 2015?
Yeah,
I think it
I'm not too
was.
sure.
They hyped it up, demoed it out, said it's going to be out, it's going to be out, and then it's like 3 months later, where is it? Oh, it's on the way, it's on the way. And then so not only is it just kind of like what Ryan was saying, the availability of the amp and or the controller to begin with is a big issue. It's also the fact that the pricing is still a relatively big issue too. And there's only one amp, one controller. Mind you, though, the one controller isn't a big issue. But it's like a lot of people on the PV forum were saying, like, why didn't you offer this in like a, you know, a 50-watt version or a smaller version or head version even? And it was just like, they got like, there was no real response. But I mean, if they did something like that Viper in like a head version, like that would be like probably a better selling point. But yeah, the availability and the price are the biggest things that are killing it right now too.
Yeah, well, I think I remember doing a podcast video about that amp at one point before they were releasing it or something, and yeah, then I never heard anything about it. Yeah, right, it might have been around 2015 or something like that, but yeah.
Pixie keeps being harassed for his video review of it, and it's like he's like, I've got it there, but everybody's like saying like, where is it though? And he's like, it's coming.
Yeah.
Well, I think the technology in that particular model was different than what's in the Viper like 2s and 3s, right? I mean, it was I remember it was relatively elaborate.
Yeah, the Pro was basically like a XFX Lite. The processor's like a lower version of it. All the demos that were done of it and everything else, everybody said the same thing. Even Pixie himself said, you know, it's like if you were thinking about like how he uses TH3 and that on his computer.
Yeah.
He said, you know, that's exactly how this amp is. He said, you plug it in, you put it to whatever amp you want, and you realistically are that close to that sound. All the improvements that they made, the only thing that really I haven't heard much about is the ability to play a bass through it or an acoustic, even though they say it is possible. But I mean, it's not the same as with the VIP2s.
Yeah.
I would never buy a dedicated guitar modeling amp with the expectations to ever go out and play a bass through it. I just think that's. I don't even think that. On my channel, go check it out. I play the bass through it. I play bass through it. I play acoustic through it, and it actually does a decent job, at least better than Line 6. You know, Shane always gives me a hard time about this. I've got the Boss Katana. I've got the 212, 100-watt 212 version, and I actually really like it. But before I bought it...
I don't know if I'm giving you a hard time. I just spoke about my experience with them, and then you told me you owned one, and I went, oh, no. So
yeah. Before I had it, I had the new Line 6 high-end thing, thinking that maybe it would be sort of like the Variax, or not the Variax, the... help me out, the Helix with an attached speaker box.
Yeah.
And it is not. It is not. And as a matter of fact, I walked into the store one day and they had a Helix set up with all the stock patches hooked directly into a PA system. And I thought, oh, all the stuff I've heard about this is going to be wonderful. It sounded horrible too. You have to go through and set these things up, I guess. I mean, I don't understand why. Shane even mentioned it in his review or preview of the new Mustangs. Why don't they use his patches? Because they were so far and beyond better what came stock from the factory. If you go back and listen to Scott Grove from years and years ago, the Johnson amplifiers, the first modeling amplifiers that actually came out, what killed them was their horrible stock patches. He went through and made all his custom patches, and he still plays those amplifiers. You know, and the Katana, the stock presets on the Katana are not good either. I don't understand what it is, but I find it to be a good amp. I do wish it would have had an onboard tuner, but you know, other than that, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I don't get it either, man. They make the mistake of not putting any time and effort into these patches, and it does them a disservice. Like, I honestly think, and not boasting, but without the patches or the Mustang Monday series, I think 90% of people would have assumed those amps were junk. I remember I went to the Fender Roadshow when they came to Australia, and I heard a great guitar player use a Mustang. I went, that sounds like crap. I was like,
Wow.
who would buy one of these things? Yeah, like Greg Koch was playing like the valve amps or tube amps, and this other guy Ryan, who's equally as good as Greg, was playing the Mustang, and everyone's like, oh, it didn't sound like, playing aside, the sound wasn't that spectacular. It's one of those things where they need to start making the presets better. And how you're putting 3 years of R&D or whatever into an amp, spend 3 hours and actually make some presets that sound good. But I think Northern 50 Now mentioned he'd been dumped off INTHEBLUES 4 times. So just to let folks know, I get unsubscribed from channels all the time as well. And it's really weird. Like, I don't unsubscribe, and then all of a sudden I have to find them again. So
That's weird.
Yeah.
it's a known glitch on YouTube. I can't physically kick people off subscription status. They have to either unsubscribe or be banned.
Yeah.
And he's neither of those two. So just to let folks know, if you are unsubscribed from channels, that's just something that YouTube needs to fix. So I thought I'd mention that. Sorry, a bit off topic there.
But getting back to what you're just saying there, it really is the truth. When I play this VIP and everybody's like, I love that sound that you got, and it's like, thanks. And you know what it is? It's simply the first patch, Classic 50. And everybody loves the sound of it, and it's like, I haven't tweaked it any. Mind you, though, I have done some stuff where I've gone using the Viper edit software and edit it more. But that's the one thing I think PV did do well with these amps, was they did come up with some very usable, nice patches. And of course, they have some others that are, dog-eared the same. I was just listening to Henning's playthrough of the GT40. He went and he did the 109 patches, and there was some of them that actually sounded really, really impressive.
Oh, cool. Good stuff.
And then there were some that were just kind of like, But I mean, otherwise, for like what they're saying, like that amp with the dual 6.5s, it doesn't sound that bad. But I really think like that GT100 would be that sweet spot. I think, like a lot of people have said.
Yeah, I've kind of always. I'm a huge fan of single 12 combos. Anyway, I think you can generally get a lot out of those. 212s can also sound really good too, but just the portability of the single 12 will be the way to go, I reckon, just for most people. That's the problem living in Australia too. I have to wait a while for stuff to turn up here, but look, I'll see what happens. If I can get my hands on one, I'll do some videos and some patches. Otherwise, I just don't know how far off they are. So I might cruise down today and find out, see if I can get any info on.
Were they just announced this week? Because that's the first I heard of them. The new models.
They've just been announced for like about a week and a bit now.
So it wasn't a NAMM thing or anything, where you wait 8 months.
Actually, it was their big. It was Anderton's big announcement on May 1st. So it would have been May 1st was the big kickoff for it.
Yeah, I heard rumors about it a couple months back, but I remember someone in the live stream mentioned it, and I went, I looked into it, and I couldn't find any info online, so I wasn't sure if they were just, making stuff up or
they wasn't even showing it on the Fender site.
No, that's it.
It wasn't even shown on the Fender site when someone had mentioned it, because I looked for it and I didn't see it.
Are they on the Shane? Are they on the Fender Australia site yet?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
How much are they?
They're exactly double. Every amp is double the price. Just double the prices, and that's what you get. Sorry, Mud.
I still haven't got a response from Fender. I asked them about the Australian pricing and why it's so much, and I haven't got anything back. So.
Same. I don't think they're gonna reply.
Yeah,
they don't care.
I don't think so either. They're just like, yeah, you just have to pay it. That's just a shame.
Yeah.
They don't want you to know what we pay for gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's. I'll show you. I'll bring it up.
Well, if they're saying $599
oh yeah, show that.
US
Yes.
for the
show them our pain.
GT200, that's going to be what, about 1,200, 1,500 Australian?
Jeez, that's insane.
No, they're exactly double. So with if they're,
So it'd be about 1,100 Australian.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is.
Wow.
Actually, it's more. It's more. I lied. Sorry, it is more than $1,100.
Wow.
There we go. Boom.
Oh my gosh.
1,199.
Look, you won't pay that.
Do they give you 4 of them when you buy that one? Do you get 3 more with it?
3 more free.
RRP, retail ripoff price. That's what that
Yeah,
means.
you'll probably pay $1,000. I'm assuming this will cost you about $1,000.
Wow.
Look, it might be more. I'm not too sure. It depends on maybe there's not a whole lot of. This is the thing. Look at this one. This is the GT100.
Wow.
$800.
How much is it?
800.
800 Australian. LA Music here in Canada, in Toronto. The GT100 goes for 539 Canadian. The GT200 goes for 799 Canadian, which is actually the same price as what the Viper Pro 100 actually is.
I gotta believe that Viper Pro would be a better amp for the money.
Look at the price of this. Look at what they're asking.
Mustang 4 version 2.
What? Oh Lord.
And it's funny because people seriously thought I was making this stuff up. I'm like, you know what? Just go to fender.com.au and if you can,
bring up a Squire guitar. Just show somebody a Squire for fun. Like
what was it again? 1,349. That amp here at the one retailer is 679 Canadian.
Yeah, that's no more than $499 US. That V2 version, that V2.4.
Yeah.
What do you guys pay? How much does a Fender Blues Junior cost in the US?
I think it's $4.99 if I'm not mistaken.
Hey,
Yeah,
Shane, show them a Blues Junior.
classic
Yeah, it's
vibe.
like
Show them a
$4.99.
Blues Junior, man.
$5.99, I believe.
Oh man, that is, I've never seen anything for that.
That's a
Any
Squire.
kind of Blues Junior for that price.
You see them on Reverb
See if
for
we can-
anywhere between $300 and $400.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to take me back here. All right, I'm going to need to go to amps.
Yeah, Blues Junior, mate.
I hate this. You Google something, it brings up the US site, and then you have to click back on this. On that. Anyway,
Reminds me like going to their custom shop and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, sorry, you're an international buyer. You can't use the custom shop. Well, then what's the point of having the custom shop?
I know.
Here you go. Check this out, folks.
1,499. LA Music, same one, 719.99 Canadian.
Yeah, I got that amp for $900 because it was super low.
What have you got back there? Sorry.
Oh, the Blues Junior 3.
Oh yeah, a Blues Junior.
Yeah, because I had to buy it from the store that my first amp broke from.
Oh, okay.
It took me like months to get my amp back just for a set of tubes from this store. Then I had to buy. And then I could only get store credit for that amp when it failed again. So I had to buy something from that store. I really just wanted my money back, and I wanted to, have nothing to do with that place.
Yeah, Australia totally sucks for that type of stuff. I had exactly the same problem with the PV Delta Blues I bought. I wanted my money back, and they just the pricks wouldn't give it back. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Sorry to hear that, man. That's no good. We've got someone new here. We've got Mark. How are you, Mark?
Hey, Mark.
Hey, how you doing? I was here a couple months ago, and I've been getting the emails for a long time, and I finally decided to drop back in again.
Oh, Cool.
Welcome.
Good timing.
Yeah, welcome back, man. Yeah, whereabouts are you from again?
I'm from New Jersey. I was up at school in Pennsylvania. I just got back a couple of days ago, so home for the summer. Got some time to kill. So
Yeah, good
Cool.
stuff.
Yeah,
Good stuff.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, nice. We're just talking about prices of Fender stuff here again, and how ridiculous it is. So comparing prices around.
yeah, I haven't been able, or the amps or the guitars.
Oh, both. Yeah,
it's a shame because I had a I don't know. I still keep finding myself going back though. I had a Mexican Strat a couple years ago, and I still wish I hadn't sold it. At some point, I might have picked a classic vibe at some point. But yeah, those prices are getting a little high. I can't justify buying the amps. They do sound good though, but I think there's other good, cheap, clean amps out there. Although the new Mustangs are pretty.
Just
good.
buy
I tried them
used.
the other day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
did you?
yeah, that's. Oh, sorry, Ahmad, what was that?
Oh, I was just saying that. I don't know what I was replying to something he said. I got lost.
No, that's all right.
Continue on. My brain's a little fried.
That's right. Yeah, we were just talking a bit about the Mustangs as well. Hopefully, they turn up into Australia at some point in the next couple of years, and I can check them out. But yeah, it always takes a little while to get down here.
Have you gotten to play a Pro Strat or Telecaster yet, Shane? Do they have those over there?
I've seen them. I just haven't had a chance to. I haven't picked one up for whatever reason. The only place I've seen them, they've got all their guitars locked. You know, like in little hinges that they have to use key to get the guitars out.
Yeah.
So I've only seen them. I haven't actually played them.
Yeah, the Strat and Telly behind me are from that professional series. I actually prefer them to the Elites. I think they went overboard on all the craziness with the Elites. They just don't even look like Fenders.
No, fair enough.
Hey, Shane can get a Mustang for cheap. The new Squire Mustangs.
Yeah, only $2,000 would be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, they're only about 200.
What's the Squire Mustang?
They've got like Fender launched a whole line of like Affinity class Mustangs, Jags.
Oh, all right. So you're talking about guitars, not amps. Sorry, I thought.
Yeah. Well, it would be cheaper. You'd be able to get
a
one.
Mustang. Mustang, right. That's two things.
I saw at a shop recently one of those reverse Mustang guitars, which was something I've never seen before. Gibson.
Oh, the Duosonics.
Yeah, swap the body, like reverse the body kind of thing. It was really crazy.
Yeah, it's an upside.
But, I've never really played a Mustang guitar before. They're all right. They look all right. I just, never.
The offset guitars have like a.
Sorry, say that again. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. I can't remember exactly what the model was called.
The Jaguar is actually
like
shorter than a Gibson. It's 24 inches.
Yeah, there we go.
Cool. Jaguar, Mustang.
Oh, Jags, you mean? Oh, sorry. I thought you meant the Gibson. Yeah.
I played a 1965 Fender Mustang at a Guitar Center one time, a legitimate 65. And it was like, it was one of these 24-inch scale deals. And I mean, you could take the E string, the high E, and bend it all the way to the other side of the fretboard. I mean, when you got that short of a scale length, I mean, it gets pretty. It can get kind of sloppy. I mean, I don't think anybody would want to try to even go drop D on something like that. I mean, I'm sure people. You put a bigger string on it, right? Put bigger string gauge, you could do it. But those guitars really aren't meant for that. Anyways, but it sounded good. But it was definitely, I mean, the bending and everything was all over the place. If you're used to 25.5-inch scale and you pick up a 24-inch scale guitar, you'll bend way sharp, you know.
Yeah, that's the one thing that a lot of folks don't realize when they swap guitars over, even going from a Strat to any Gibson, the bending can really throw you.
I like to go just a gauge higher, one string gauge higher. So I was playing a set of 10s on my Strat. When I moved to a Gibson style guitar, you just go up to 11s, and it feels a bit more familiar.
Yeah, cool. That's a good idea.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
It's funny. I actually play the 9s on Strats or LPs or whatever else.
Oh well.
I play 9s on Fenders and 10s on Paul Reed Smith and Gibson guitars to do what he's talking about, basically.
Yeah. I just run 11s on everything now.
You're playing 11s on that Strat?
Yeah.
My goodness, Stevie Ray, be careful over there.
11s aren't that bad. 11s aren't that bad.
Or it could be Buddy Guy. Buddy Guy also uses a similar kind of string gauge too.
That's just
I'm all over the shop when it comes to using strings.
Yeah.
Keep it.
I used to use 10 a lot on tallies. I went to 10s for a while, but there's something about the bends on. I like heavier strings for bending. I don't know what it is. Just it feels good. I like the resistance a little more, but
more grip.
Yeah, a mate of mine plays 9s on most of his guitars, and it's just like, man, feels like dental floss. You know, it just doesn't have any real. You just can't get under the string with any real authority. I don't know what it is about it. They're a bit too light for me, 9s, but 10s are good. 10s would be about the lightest I'll go on anything.
Well, you could go the ultimate and do the Billy Gibbons 7.
7s.
Yeah, wow.
He does 7s? Wow.
Yeah, he uses 7s now.
Jeez.
Man, he must have RSI in his elbow or something, or tennis elbow.
I think the gauge is 7 through 38.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
Jeez.
That's weird because the way he plays, you would really think he's playing a heavier gauge.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he used to. He used to play a heavier gauge. So.
Chris, you got to think. I mean, those guys. How old are they now?
Oh, he's got to be in his 60s at least.
Billy Gibbons is 67. Billy Gibbons is 67.
Yeah, well, you know, those guys were offered $500,000 to shave their beards from some magazine or something like that.
From Gillette. From Gillette.
Yeah, Gillette, was it? Okay. Yeah, wow.
Jeez.
It's
that didn't happen.
No. Yeah. Oh, I can't believe they play strings that light. That's insane. But let me bring up the chat here. I've kind of abandoned it the last. Keep going. You're right. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
I'm sure Dusty Hill doesn't use 7s. You know, that'd be a bit light on the bass. 38 string.
Yeah, I mean the list I've heard for the smallest bass string is like a 45. I couldn't imagine like a smaller than that.
Kevin says, Shane with his gorilla hands. I have the hands of a small child. Yeah, it's I don't know. I got huge hands for a short guy. I don't know why. I can grab a basketball easy. So it doesn't make much sense.
We probably need heavier strings then.
Yeah.
I got 9s on one Strat and 10s on the other. I got on the 69. I have 10s, and on the newer one I have 9s, and I got used to both. I think I've probably been a little easier, obviously, with the 9s, but I actually got comfortable with both of them. So I don't know. I might go with 10s on the Strats, both of them, and when hopefully this week I'll get the Les Paul.
we haven't destroyed your.
I was just gonna say you haven't gotten it yet. Jeez.
No, all this stuff keeps coming up, and I'm trying to economically do it correct without pissing my wife off.
Yeah. So it's good.
You know the trick to that. You just buy them all the same color. You just buy all good guitars have to all be the same color.
I've never seen that somewhere.
No, what I meant was there's been a lot of Gibson quality control videos going up lately, and that's the only.
That's why with your video with Kenneth, I mentioned Nick did a video about it's about a 20-minute video. It was really interesting. Basically, he was going through the fact that it seems like Gibson's had a lot of hiccups, but that's what they do. They've done that in the past, and it's just part of their culture. They do great things, and then they screw up badly.
you know.
Yeah, I think most companies.
It's par for the course.
Go ahead.
Are you talking about a video from Nick? Nick in the States? He had a good one.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was really good.
That was a great video.
I don't know Gibson that well, so it was good to see all that stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, do you guys know, whenever I see a Gibson guitar, I usually see a picture of a broken headstock. I'm never seen that with a Fender. Is that usually somebody dropped the guitar? Like, or they were...
What's that neck angle? It's so bent. It's very weak.
I know, yeah, I know why, but I just don't know when that happens. Is it they just like were playing it and
I
just...
guess somebody drops it, I guess.
The two main times that will happen is it'll fall off a stand on stage or something of that nature, or the other classic time is in shipping.
In shipping, yeah, I've seen that too.
Oh, okay.
Not from hanging it though. I was always paranoid of hanging. I got these wall hangers here, and I keep the Gibsons off the wall just because I see those pictures and I'm like, geez.
No, it has nothing.
They wouldn't hang them in stores if that happened all the time.
It'll just fall off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be afraid to hang it. Like this right here. This is my 335. It's a 2016 335. It's hung there since the day I brought it home. I've had Gibsons forever. They've always hung on the wall. But make sure whatever you hang it on is nitro safe, of course, because I don't even trust the ones I buy. I still buy like a guitar, like a clean white cotton cloth to wrap around whatever I'm going to hang it on, just to make sure.
These are all those Hercules hangers, the ones that have the fingers that grab in front. I don't know if you know, kind of a weighted.
Those are supposed to be nitro safe, but
there we go. Somebody's missing the market on GuitarCon.
A mate of mine just put up a blog post about his nitro safe hanger that he had for his, and it essentially stained his guitar neck. So
really?
Yeah, you got to be careful with those. The only stands I use are the ones that I've got me around. They don't even have a C thing at the neck. It's just literally a triangle. It's on the floor kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know, man. It's So basically, anytime if a Gibson guitar falls, the headstock breaks. if the headstock gets hit in any way, odds are it'll break, and that's their weak spot. It's just one of those things. So, Ahmad, don't go dropping your guitar, man. Don't.
I know.
Another thing, actually, I should point out too. A few people have had headstocks break from carrying them. Say they got them in their gig bag. A lot of the, those like Epiphones and that will come in a gig bag. They'll put it in their car, and something will fall on the guitar. And that can also do the same thing to the headstock. So just be pretty careful with gig bags. Make sure you don't have a lot of weight on them. If
they're sensitive.
Yeah,
that's an unfortunate thing because it comes with a gig bag. Unfortunately, that model comes with a gig bag.
The gig bags are awesome, but what I'm saying is just make sure if it's in your car or whatever, and you don't have your amp or something else, just fall on it. Keep it in the back seat or something like that. You should be fine.
Just drive it in my lap. How about that?
Yeah, you got to treat them right.
Yeah, exactly. I think you'll be all right. I mean, if you've never broken a guitar before, you won't have any problems. But a lot of people that have had issues these are the most common ways I've seen that they've damaged them. So I've taken gig bags for years and never had any problems. So just make sure you're smart about what's around it and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Is it also the wood too? Because I know Fender, they use maple necks a lot, right?
It's just
mahogany's weaker than maple.
Maple's pretty strong.
It's more the angle.
The angle too, yeah.
Yeah, 14-degree angle.
I don't like the whole mahogany neck thing. Like, it's just not a strong enough wood, I think, for a neck with an angle like that. Much prefer a maple neck if I can get one.
Someone brought up a good comment that how guitar players never change in instruments. Like anytime Gibson have tried to do something new, a lot of people, there's always a backlash, or same with Fender as well. It doesn't matter what guitar company it is, but someone made the comment of instead of installing robot tuners on a guitar, why don't they fix the headstock and make it change the angle of it, and maybe the way that it's
or go back to the volute like they had in the 70s.
Oh, the volute, yeah.
I don't think they're
People hate the volute. I don't know why they hate the volute.
I always like that. That's one thing I like about the old Martin guitars is they have that on there.
What is that? I don't know what
I
that
don't
is.
know, I don't know what it is either.
Volute?
It's a big.
Changes, you know, like they haven't.
I can show you what a volute is.
Yeah, show me a volute, Terry.
Yeah,
bring
big
it
lump
up
of
on
wood.
that.
Everybody look out. Terry's showing his volute.
Whoa, it's so big.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so you talking about the extra bit of wood on the end of the headstock?
Yep, just on the
Okay.
heel there.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Are we
I
showing
don't
off
think it
our
really makes a
headstocks
big
now?
difference for.
And
Oh,
that's
I worked out.
why didn't they keep doing that?
Because people
Didn't like it.
Yeah,
Probably.
hate it. No one knows that people hate it.
people thought it wasn't
Like-
traditional, so
Yeah,
People are idiots.
exactly.
Yes, they are.
That's ridiculous.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
look, look, snap.
yep.
Look at yeah.
That's
You
a
see
prepare,
where the
that's a
volute
prepare.
is on that DVZ I got there.
Yeah.
That's where that extra
Oh.
wood would be, and you see where it breaks right there.
Well, if I do a video where I'm crying, then you'll know what happened. No. Oh my God. Will you shake? Oh, there we got Lando twice.
Lando in stereo.
Oh, okay.
There you
Oh,
go.
there
Can you
go.
guys,
There.
can you
Oh,
guys see?
sorry guys, I just crashed and
Oh, okay.
the live stream has just died.
Okay.
I'm unable to just click. Oh no, we're live again. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
I
We're
don't
here.
think it's still.
Oh, yeah.
Get off
Hey.
it. My computer
Huzzah!
when I was sharing that picture, it just Google Chrome crashed.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
sorry
Sorry, like
guys.
next stock photos.
We've got 2 Landos, but other than that, we're okay.
And 2 in the blues as well. I see 2 of me, and maybe
What's
not.
going on there?
Shane, can you see my picture here? That's a volute on a Martin acoustic guitar.
Yeah, it looks pretty
That's
aerodynamic.
interesting.
Yeah, it's a little more pronounced on their guitars.
You got 2 of me.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
All right.
The ESPs also have volutes on there, on a lot of their LP style and that too. There's a few companies that still do them, like on their instruments, you know, just because of the simple fact, because of the headstock break.
Mhm.
More
I mean,
than anything.
Otherwise, like the
we
instruments, Gibson guitars sound and look cool. It's just a shame that they'll do stuff like the robot tuners, but not fix inherent issues. Maybe they could even put a piece of steel through it or something to keep it, you know, a little more reliable if dropped. But I don't know how it works.
The truss rod.
You know, I didn't mind the robot tuners though. I guess most people didn't like was being forced to say, okay, you have to have robot tuners.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like them.
well, I don't know if they work perfectly, or not. I mean, I've never messed with one that actually had any, but I mean, I
The
guess
most
it worked.
I was going to say
I
the
thought
most
they were
embarrassing
great.
part was the Gibsons. When the Gibson robot tuners came out, how bad they were. Then they announced all the Epiphone models with it. And the funny part about it was all the Epiphone models with their robot tuners, they worked perfectly fine.
Oh, wow.
You know,
Yeah, well,
There was
Gibson's
no
like
issue
the
whatsoever with the first ones with the Epiphones. And it was just like, well, what the hell, right? You know, the Epiphones, it should be the ones with the issues, not the Gibsons.
Because
sounds
Epiphone
like
are
Gibson
better.
is a yeah. Gibson's like the United Airline of guitars, I guess, huh?
No, I think if you find a good one, you'll be happy, man. That's the thing. Like,
Well, yeah, I'm hoping this one will work out. Like I said, it's been 2 months since I touched it, so we'll see what happens this week.
yeah. Or when do you hope to pick it up? Do you know?
Well, I'm off. I get off of work about 1 Wednesday, and I think I'm gonna sneak off and go get it before I go do
awesome.
a little sleep study. Hopefully, I'll have it and.
We'll have to get you to
Just
do
don't buy it a
first
seat on a
YouTube demo,
Hey,
man.
Hey, I paid for this seat for this guitar to sit here, and it's taken me 6 months to get this damn guitar.
Listen, we'll leave the guitar and drag you off the boat.
Yeah, they might treat the guitar nicer than people. Depending on the guy.
You'll have to do a demo of it, man. When you get it, just do one with your phone or something, so we can check it out.
All right, yeah, I'll just try it out. I guess I gotta dust off the vintage modern, and my wife's got a bunch of junk in the living room surrounding it, so I'm just like, I want to dig through her stuff to get it.
Yeah,
but I just might do that on Wednesday.
All right, cool. Good stuff.
But,
all right. I know most of you guys joined about an hour after or 40 minutes after I started the stream, and which is cool. But I only had an hour and a half today. I've really got to get a whole lot of stuff done, so I'm pulling the pin at pretty much in the next few minutes. But we'll do another one soon. I got a couple of things I got to get done this afternoon, which means I got to get started pretty soon.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thanks for joining in, guys. I appreciate you hanging out, and
always.
I'll load up another one in the next couple of weeks, and yeah, we can do another stream, and I'll get the link out a little earlier this time instead of a minute before we start. So everyone knows
It's all good. It's all good.
Surprise!
I slept in so bad this morning. I was playing last night, and I was like, I got 15 minutes to get everything organized. So
I slept in pretty badly too. This live stream starting is what woke me up.
Oh, there you go.
Awesome.
So,
I'm glad that the Hangout still works. It actually works pretty well for what
It does. It does. Yeah. It really
it's
does.
good. No, I enjoy it as well. It's one of those cool techs that I'm glad they didn't completely remove, even though it looked like it said they were going to get rid of it, which anyway.
It's all good.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, thanks to everyone in the chat as well. We had 70 people consistently through here with probably 300-400 all up. So that was awesome. And if you're still watching, please give the video a thumbs up, and that's always cool. And yeah, we'll catch you all pretty soon. And Ryan, again, thanks for getting some headphones, mate.
I'll give you some headphones, man.
Hey, I'm just here to make you look good, Shane. Don't you worry about it.
Cool. All right, have a good day and have a good night.
Everybody
guys.
take care.
Catch you
Yeah,
soon.
Everybody take care.
Later.
Later.
Good night. Good night.